So let's get started around what happened today here in Riverside, California, next to Norte Vista High School, specifically on Jurupa and Tyler Street, where I'm standing right this second. Behind me is where the fire had started, and it started around 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, which had started small. There is supposedly a report of a resident saying there was a firework. That has not been confirmed, but what has been confirmed is that from what I've been seeing here, the fire is detained. Big shout out to the firefighters that have been working nonstop since I got here, and I'll provide a lot of the B-roll and reporting that I've done throughout this whole time being here of the fire that's been going on here. Police presence has been very heavy. When I had got here and started reporting not so long ago, there was over 12 police cars and more police personnel. Far behind me, far past the caution tape, was the heart of the fire. You see over 20, over 30 firefighters making sure that this fire is contained. A lot of them have their fire hoses and making sure they're wetting areas that not only the fire was, but a little bit outside the fire. So that way there's no chance of this fire spreading. This fire was really bad. We had seen some residents pouring water on their roof with their water hose, turning on their sprinklers, as a lot of the residents here in the Riverside area were scared that their house is going to turn on fire, due to the fact that a lot of people got this evacuation warning that specifically said at the end, "Go now." I have a clip as well as where police were knocking on doors of residents telling them to evacuate, because this fire is close by these new homes that were built here on Tyler and Jurupa Street. There is tons of homes around the Norte Vista area. Thankfully, from what I've seen and heard, there has been no reports of any house catching on fire, which is definitely a good thing for the residents here. And for those of you wondering, people are safe. If anything, if what people suffered through was the horrible visibility that was going on when the fire was at its peak. Here, let me enter some B-roll of Crest Avenue during the time the fire was probably the most worst, where visibility was little to none. You couldn't even see past 100 feet because that's how bad the fires were here in Riverside, California, specifically down Crest Street. Norte Vista High School was covered in smoke, but let me just say, the scenes looked horrific here. Thankfully, everyone is okay. People that I've interviewed have not been hurt, but they were frightened. As you know, Southern California took a major loss earlier this year in the Palisades fire, and a lot of people didn't want to repeat that, and it was cool to see people taking precaution measures, like I mentioned, with watering their homes. A big shout out to the Cal Fire helicopter that's been doing non-stop circles, picking up water and making sure that it's been dumping here on the heart of the line of the fire. Because of that Cal Fire helicopter, I would argue that took care of a lot of the fire that was going on here. I will say, though, the firefighters did do big damage to the fire with their fire hoses, as I counted over 7 police firefighter trucks fighting these raging waters. So a big shout out to those firefighters who were brave enough to stand at the beast of the fire. And a big shout out to the Rangers who are making sure that people weren't getting too close. When the fire first had started, not that much police personnel, and it was hard to contain the people that were coming and the safety, as cars were lining up looking at the fire, because for a lot of these residents, this is unheard of. This has never really happened. Yes, there's fires at the Santa Ana River Trail, and just for context, Jurupa Valley is a neighboring city, Norco is a neighboring city, and Corona is not too far. And Eastville, I did have one guest say that all the way from Temecula, he was able to see the smoke. So that can give you an indication. Riverside and Temecula is over a 35-mile drive, so meaning that these smoke clouds were being seen from over 35 miles, and that's just from this one person. So imagine how far other people have seen these fires. Thankfully, like I said, a lot of these firefighters have been containing it. Now they're still just here making sure that it is not going to happen whatsoever. So more than likely, the firefighters and police are going to stay here for a couple hours more. It's 4:28. I've been here for over an hour. From what had started to now, the fire is basically dead. But when I did get here, it was horrendous. It was hard to breathe. I did have some some witnesses and victims who told me that it was absolutely horrible, that they were absolutely scared, that, you know, I had one victim who was telling me it sucks that the microphone wasn't picking it up, from what she had told me along the lines of she had just moved here. She was very scared. They didn't know if that they were going to keep their home. You know, a lot of people were affected traumatically from the fires, whether they suffered through the fires or not. It was still a big cause here in California. But this is probably going to conclude today's commentary here in Riverside, as what it looks like I said, the fires are contained. So for those of you wondering, things are okay. For those who evacuate, I would say it's safe to come, but please keep an eye on the news. You know, this land is very dry, so preparations are obviously should be taken into consideration. But I'm glad everyone's safe. A big thank you to Riverside Police Department. A big thank you to Riverside fighter fighters. A big thank you to the pilots flying overhead. And a big thank you to the other pilots who are flying the C-130 Hercules, who are ready to dump loads of the liquid that calms down the fire. But thank you guys so much for watching. This is Tiger Teeth Tony reporting from the heart of the line of the fire here in Riverside, taking place on Jurupa Street and Tyler Street. So here we are next to Tyler Street where the fires took place. Nick, how bad is it for residents to breathe in this air that's going on right now?
Oh, it's pretty bad. I've been out here for an hour and a half trying to hose down everything, and the air is just, it's killing my eyes. You can see them watering right now, really bad. I can barely breathe a little bit, but I'm getting through the breaths. Had to come get my trailer because I don't want that thing getting burned up in this, but we got most of our stuff out other than that. So the air is really bad though.
You're living literally not even 2,000 feet from the fire.
Yeah. How
How precautious have people been here? I know you took out your trailer, but you guys did you guys receive an emergency text to evacuate?
Yeah, so I have the Watch, I think it's Watchdog app, and that let us know, hey, this area is being evacuated, a huge area right here. So yeah, we got that alert hour and a half ago, got our stuff, and now we're headed out.
Okay. For anyone who is just watching through a screen, how bad would you say this fire was for Riverside residents who've only seen Santa Ana, but not ones close to the homes? Would you say this is a pretty bad fire that took place today?
This is a bad fire, yeah. For everyone that lives right here, the air quality is terrible. I can't explain what my lungs are doing right now, and what's going on with my nose and my eyes, but the fire is pretty bad. So, but I gotta go.
Yeah,
man.
you have to go. I appreciate you,
yeah.
Nick.
Thanks, man. Take it
Yeah,
easy.
you take care. As you see to hear, folks, one of the residents that lives right here had to move his trailer for the caution of being scared that it might burn down. As his eyes burn, my eyes are burning down because we are probably the closest to the fire we've been all day, and it's just truly hurting. It's truly toxic to breathe in. That's probably going to be my last interview I conduct for today because I seriously don't think I can handle it no more. It is really bad. I want to get to safety. The fire is contained, but in a sense of air quality, it is good to be inside if you're here in the Norte Vista area. So that is going to conclude today's report. Thoughts and prayers, and I hope everyone is safe and being safe. To the Riverside residents, again, check in on your family members, but for the most part, Tiger Teeth Tony reporting out. Thank you guys so much for watching.